we're not doing our jobs right now. It's embarrassing on all of us.
And for the Orioles, that covers about every aspect of the game. They've got to find a way to get out of this losing streak. The bats need to come alive. They've got to run well on the base pass. They've got to play the defense that the Orioles are noted for and not be lackadaisical about it. And starting pitching overall has been awful. Alec Asher will make the start. The Orioles hope tonight's the night the W goes up on the board. It's the Orioles on Maston, and we welcome you back to Chicago. A 4-game set on this road trip. The Orioles losing the opener last night. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome for the Orioles trying to get out of this overall 5-game losing streak. And the woes on the road continue. 10 in a row that they have lost on the road. Tonight, just get one and turn this thing around. If they're going to do it, a team based on home runs is going to have to do it without one of their home run leaders. Chris Davis is out, a right oblique strain occurring on a swing of the bat in the ball game last night. Buck Showalter updated us on the condition of Davis today.
I think they call it a grade 1 oblique. I think last time he had this, he had it on the other side. The last time he had it, I mean, we know the dates he missed last time, but you know, we're going to see where we are in a couple of days as far as before we start trying to put a time frame on it. It's not one of those injuries that you can go out and test out. Hey, I got a sore arm, let me go test it out, because you know you can set it back. But you know, he felt it on that swing.
The swing, well, here it is. Last night, almost a home run swing, in fact. It didn't look bad on the finish, but when he ran down the line, realized the ball had been caught and started to leave. Notice the head will go down as though, yep, something is wrong. So Chris Davis is headed back to Baltimore for further examination. Jim Palmer, they lose a big stick in the lineup.
Well, they do. And, you know, I mean, the average not that good in the month of June, but already 3 home runs. And I just look at, here's a guy, obviously big contract, paid a lot of money, but he's made some adjustments, and he's actually, at least at this point in the season, swinging the bat as well as he can. So, you know, obliques are like hamstrings. You get them if you get a grade 1, as Buck Showalter mentioned, the Orioles skipper. It's serious, but it's not as serious if you get a grade 2 or 3. So it's something you got to watch carefully. You know, you're probably going to see Mancini play a lot of first base. Trumbo can play first base, so there are guys that replace him at first base. But as you mentioned, the bat is very tough to really replace.
And one of those names you mentioned, Trey Mancini, will be there tonight. We had an opportunity to talk with him before the ball game, not only about moving on to first base, but also what has been a very good so far major league career. MASN is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Back here on the south side of Chicago. Much cooler night. Let's take a look. Trey Mancini. How about the movies made from the minors to the majors? Games played, obviously not many up here. Batting average, though, outstanding. Home runs, much better at the major league level on a ratio. RBI production is there. Slugging percentage way up, major league level. He got a little advice early on, and he told us about it today.
I mean, whenever I got here, Caleb Joseph had a conversation with me, and he said, don't change who you are as a hitter, like what got you here. You know, even it will help you stay here even if you go through like a tough time, which I did early on. But yeah, that's what he told me, and I remember that. And I always just try to, whenever I'm up at the plate, I think about hitting the ball to right center field every time, and that's what I've always done. And I try to just relax and take a deep breath before I go in the box, and yeah, I get ready to go.
Well, the power's been there for you. I mean, you were known as a power hitter anyway, but even more so at the major league level in per at bats. How come?
I don't know. It's just something I think as you get older, maybe it just starts to happen a little more. And each level I've gone up, I think I've made some adjustments. And 2 years ago when Brady Anderson helped me with my stance and I hit the ball a little, I get a little better extension on it now. I think that helped me out a lot too. So that, and yeah, just the development and the coaching and instruction I've gotten has been amazing. So all of that combined, kind of, there's a lot of factors I think that go into it.
Biggest adjustment coming up?
Oh man, I think it's it's just getting to know the pitchers, and we have a lot of film, and there's a lot of things that you can use to your advantage here. And I do look at film and some of the pitchers that I'm going to be facing because they're all really good, and I've faced some of them before, so that gives me an idea of how they might attack me. And you just always have to be on your toes and have a plan.
No, it's a constant readjustment up here. What are you finding pitchers are trying to do to you now?
Yeah, so now, the last month and a half or so, I've been seeing a lot of off-speed pitches low and away. So I definitely had to make that adjustment to stay on it because I was pulling off the ball a lot for a while because they had been coming in with fastballs some, and I had started to make that adjustment, and then almost to a fault to where I was pulling off a lot of balls. So I feel like I've been staying on it a lot better, and because of that, I've started to get some more fastballs over the plate again. So yeah, just kind of covering the whole plate and covering all your bases is tough, but it's something that you got to learn how to do here.
And you've got to be patient. I mean, patience in the end, you got to have that, right?
Absolutely. And that's another thing that I've been working on too, is just finding a pitch to hit, and it might come late in the at-bat. I feel good about at least some of my at-bats have gone a lot deeper. Even if I get out, I've given myself a chance because they're not going to make too many mistakes here, and when they do, you got to take advantage of it.
Last question. You've had to move around defensively, so not only you have to think about what you're doing at the plate, but almost every night you got something else to learn.
Exactly, yeah, and you have to learn how to separate defense from offense too. If I go up and have not a great at-bat, it doesn't matter. I have to kind of wash it away and go out there in defense because I'm at the same time still kind of learning some about the outfield. So yeah, it's kind of separating the two entities there and not taking either one into the other. Whenever I'm in competition, I can't really do that, so I try to separate that as much as possible.
Well, you've done it well. Congratulations on the start, and have a great long time here.
All right, thanks, Gary. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, what a pleasant surprise. Somebody that of his aptitude and ability, and again, all the adjustments, and he handles them very humbly. And I think he understands that you got to listen to your coaches and other players that have played in the past. He's really taken a little bit from everybody, and special
He's a
player.
listener, isn't he? All right, BGE Home, Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? 93 last night, 68 tonight. Overcast skies, wind blowing the other way from left to right field. And we are ready to go with Rickett, Jones, and Machado, Trumbo, Mancini, and Scope. Castillo, Hardy, and Joseph. Lineup brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. The left-hander on the mound, the veteran Derek Holland, 30 years old. Game 2 is underway.
Yeah, take a look at the scouting report. June swoon. He started out great, but 0-2 in this month, and 14 runs, 7 pitches. Right-handers, they've hit 14 home runs off him, and again 6 in the last 2 games, 3 in his last game down, and then handled the birds 5-2. And here are the numbers So you can see he dominates lefties, as you mentioned, not only 274 by the right-handers, but all 14 home runs. And then you can see he's a fly ball pitcher. Last night, as you mentioned, Gary, 93 degrees, the ball was flying.
A lot different tonight. That ball's flying into left field. That's going to go into the corner for a base hit. Cabrera over to get it. Rickard's on his way to second base. And Joey Rickard delivers for the Orioles to start the ball game up with a two-bagger.
And imagine Derek Collin. You mentioned he's a veteran. When he's been a good pitcher when he stays healthy, but this is an 0-2 pitch. And again, he makes a horrible pitch. It's right in the middle of the plate. And again, it's a very hittable pitch, and Joey Rickard doesn't miss it.
So the Orioles, boy, would they love to get on the board early. They have had to play from behind in so many games of late during this losing streak. To be able to get on top and work from there would be a beautiful thing for the Orioles. Last night they went 5 for 10 with runners in scoring position. A lot of that coming late in the ball game. Bunting to move the runner up. Play's got to go to first. Gunned over there. How about that? The Orioles' Buck Showalter indeed wants to get on the board early, as does Jones, who sacrifices.
Yeah, I think that it'll be a sacrifice, but it's not a particularly good bunt, other than the sense that it does get a runner to the third, and that'll make Manny Machado, who had 2 hits last night, a better hitter. I think the breaking ball fooled Jonesy. So again, he didn't want to bunt it right back to the pitcher, but Holland didn't even think about third base with no force play there. And they'll play the infield in. Wow.
What a start to this game. And all kinds of stuff to talk about. We've only had 2 batters up.
Well, you got a fly ball pitcher, and you got a guy that, 2 for 4 last night. You could see stolen base, walk.
So Manny gets an RBI chance, and the pitch taken for a strike. Now, tonight with Brian O'Nora behind the plate, this should be a pitcher's delight. Brian tends to give close calls to the pitchers to a pretty good extreme. So you got to come to the plate ready to swing the bat on the offensive side of it. Infield drawn in. Joey Rickard, good speed at third base. Pitch on the way, and there's a breaking ball turned over on him. 0-2.
No, he's got a pretty good one. I mean, he throws about 56% of his fastballs, about 91. He'll get a little bit harder. He can pitch, and always been able to pitch inside. He's got a changeup, and he's got a slider to go along with a curveball. And again, as lately, I mean, just been waffled his last 3 starts.
Manny waiting on it. Manny's gone 4 for 15 against Derek Holland in his career. Manny getting back into the lineup. No signs of any problem with the left wrist in the ball game last night. Started the game out with an infield base hit, and would end up with a couple of hits, 2 for 4 in the ball game. But Showalter happy to have him back. Same night Manny comes back, Chris Davis goes out. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to get a run home. Line drive to the warning track. It'll take a short hop off the wall. Manny on his way to second base. He'll go in sliding, and he's out. The Orioles losing base runners, but Manny will get the RBI on a single, and is a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, well, this is not like getting thrown out, and you can see, I mean, Melky Cabrera, and you got to go on this play. Scope got thrown out to end the game. 3 runs down last night. Maybe a premature slide, so it takes him a little bit longer, but the throw beats him. Anderson gets the glove down, but he gets the run in.
Melky Cabrera, who's got one of the best arms in baseball, he's the one who tracks it down in left field.
Yeah, right now he knows it's getting over his head. He stumbled a little bit, and that's maybe the difference.
That was just enough.
Yep.
To slow him down.
And again, I mean, it's not like it's a short pop fly and there's a runner in third, and you didn't pay attention last night, because Cabrera should have or could have thrown out Scope in the 4th. Did throw him out to end the ball game.
So the Orioles get on the board. Yeah. That's the big news on the base hit right there. And there are 2 down. The bases are empty now, and that'll be fouled back by Mark Trumbull.
Yeah, I took a look at their defense. I mean, they are what, 13th out of the 15 teams is the most errors made. Cabrera, Garcia, Avisel Garcia out on right, Davidson with Frazier being the DH. Sanchez, Hansen just got him from the Pirates, Abreu, and then Navarez.
Mark Trumbull had a 2 for 4 in the ball game last night. Delivery by Holland will be put up in the air. That's right by the mound. Who wants it? First baseman, shortstop. That's the traffic cop. Sanchez able to put it away, but the Orioles are on the board. They get a lead, run on a couple of hits, no errors, and nobody left. In the lineups tonight for the White Sox, Sanchez moves bottom to top. Cabrera, Abreu, Garcia, Frazier, Davidson. Device is going to do the catching tonight. Garcia, Willie will be out in center field, and Alan Hansen, who didn't play last night, is at second base. Abreu, the numbers, a lot of multi-hit games.
Oh yeah, well he can flat out hit. So Alec Asher, road woes 0 for 4. 0-4 with a 620, throw strikes and throw them early. You got to get ahead of guys because he's got 4 pitches. And then again, the big question, because of Valdo Jimenez not pitching well, Tillman hurt early, he's gotten some starts, and 1-1 with an ERA a little bit over 1.5 game as a bullpenner, and then when he starts 3-10 over the course of his career with Philadelphia here, and an ERA of almost 6 runs a game.
He joined the rotation on May 28 and tried to stay in it. He has pitched well against Chicago. He scattered 5 hits over 3 1/3 out of the bullpen back on May 7. So Asher, the 25-year-old, gets the start here. And it'll be Sanchez leading it off. Switch hitter 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. And Yolomir Sanchez will take the pitch. It is in there for a strike. Sanchez is a switch hitter in the lineup at the top. They've got 3 switch hitters and a lefty that'll go against the Orioles starter in this ball game tonight. For Sanchez, 295 right, 295 left. He's had 2 home runs left-handed and 1 from the other side.
A young player that's trying to prove he belongs here. A high energy guy. Great to have a guy that can lead off. Of course, Leury Perez or Garcia can do that too, but he's got the hand injury, suffered it in Cleveland. Day to day.
Yeah, they didn't put him on the DL. More examination done today on their third Garcia, with 2 of them playing and 1 out. 0-2 count. Defense straight up on him. Sanchez will fight that one off. They have moved a number of players in and out of that top spot in the lineup, as Renteria, their manager, just tries to do the matchup thing. Not so much keeping guys top or bottom in the lineup, but who does he think will do well against whoever's starting? That's has been the key for him. And Sanchez, the shortstop, gets the start here in the leadoff hole. Victory last night. Wade Miley, of course, the Orioles starter, left-handed. White Sox have a distinct advantage left-handed offensively as opposed to their numbers against righties. Ground ball, that'll go to second base. Asher, good pitch, jammed it. Scope will make the play. Mancini gets it.
It's a little different defense with Chris Davis, maybe that is, heading for the DL. Rickard, Jones, and Trumbo. Marks have played all over the place. Machado, Hardy, Scope, and Mancini. He moved in after the oblique injury to Chris Davis, and then with Welling Castillo doing the DH, and you got Caleb Joseph doing the catching.
For Mancini, this is going to be his 5th start at first base. He's been in there in a few more games than that, coming during the ball game. Here is Melky Cabrera. Big night last night. Cabrera ended up with a 3 for 4, scored a couple of runs, got on with a walk as well. That assist he picked up, throwing out Manny at second base, the 104th assist. That is the 3rd most among active players. He had been tied with Nick Markakis for 3rd place, but now he's got 104. Nick with 103. 1-1 delivery on the way. Chase that one. That'll hurt you back.
Yeah, he's got a very good 2-seam fastball, and when he's throwing it and he's able to command it, well, and that's a perfect example, it can move 3, 4, 5 inches in the strike zone. And then again, when you get into these counts, now all of a sudden maybe you can either go in, you can go away, you can throw it just on the plate and let it run off the plate. But he made a terrific pitch to get Sanchez out, and for him, you know, if you, all I want you to do if you're sitting at home, watch where Caleb Joseph's glove goes, and if he hits it, probably going to have a good night.
I think Melky Cabrera hurt a little bit on that, either his back or an arm on that swing, because he was really out of position. 1-2 delivery on the way, and the home plate umpire gave him a break here.
Yeah, you can
Ryan O'Nora knew he needed to rest after this swing. You could see him flinch.
And then he tried to stretch it before he just took ball 2. And
see if that ends up having an effect in the game. Pitch on the way by Asher, and that's right there, and he got it. So Alec Asher gets the strikeout. That's his first, and there are 2 down.
Yeah, right to where Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire, was. Watch his head. Look where the ball goes. And it takes him a while to throw, but right. I mean, you can't present it any better. It didn't exactly hit his spot, but he does get the call.
Out recorded after a 1-2-3 inning. There have been so few of those during the losing streak of the Orioles. They had one 1-2-3 inning against the White Sox last night. Pitch will be taken away. Here is Abreu. Abreu had a 2 for 5 in the game last night. He's now 7 for 17 against the Orioles this year. He's had a home run and 3 RBIs against the O's in the 4 games played. And he will take that one for a strike.
Well, what was the Adam Jones little credo? Let's win the inning. So if he's somehow able to get Abreu out or keep them from scoring, the Orioles will have won the first here in Chicago. A little battle, meaningful.
And a shutdown inning. The Orioles scored a run. We showed you last night during the broadcast. The Orioles have been the worst in the majors at having shut down innings. That's retiring the side after the Orioles have scored, getting the other side out without allowing them to score a run. 2-1 pitch on the way on the outside corner for a strike. And Abreu even up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good home numbers for Abreu, as he is tied for 5th in multi-hit games coming in. 2-2. He's been a little cold over the last dozen games. That pitch is going to be away. He rarely stays cold for long.
Well, 237 with no home runs in the June, and of course this month just starting.
3-2. Asher's full count delivery to him, and that'll be pumped foul the other way. Very light rain, very light. Right after the White Sox finished their batting practice, the Orioles did not get out on the field for BP or defense, as they had to put the tarp out. But it only lasted for about 5 or 10 minutes and wasn't very heavy. So hopefully that's it in regard to the weather for tonight. 7th pitch of the at bat coming from Asher. Again, the 3-2, and that'll be off the fists and back. So Al, a couple of good pitches, getting inside on him, not letting him get those arms extended. See the cloudy, overcast skies began to cool down last night about midnight. I wasn't up for that, but I know I heard from people say that about midnight it started to cool off.
I'm sure you have people that.
I have people. My people.
You have people that you know
people
what
check the weather
was. Every hour on the hour.
That's right. 3-2 delivery on the way, a roller. Manny will get a short hop on it, makes the running throw over to first, and Asher gets it done. So the Orioles score in the first inning. Asher shuts them down in the first inning, 1-0. More for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play Home Run Rich's scratch offs went up to 50,000 or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/home run. Good luck, Todd. So the Orioles come up here in the second inning. It'll be Mancini, Scope, and Castillo. Orioles 3-1 against the White Sox on the season, having won the games in Baltimore. Mancini facing the left-hander Derek Holland for the first time. Trey comes in with a 3-game hit streak. He extended it last night with a 2 for 4, including a home run. And he'll take the off-speed breaking ball for a strike. And the Orioles get on the board first. Good sign.
Yeah, they just want on the road. They want the other team to hit the ninth, which means that the other team is either tied or trailing.
Yep. Mancini 280 against the left-handers, 298 against righties. Just positive numbers everywhere you look for Trey.
Well, that's the ability to hit it all over the ballpark where it's pitched.
He'll go towards second base with this one. Hansen was moved way over, and Mancini's retired on the ground ball out. Hot at the plate. Orioles second baseman Jonathan Scope.
Yeah, real hot. Yeah, and again, more home runs. We talked about it. You know, last year 25 home runs. He's on a pace to hit, you know, somewhere around 30 with the season about a third of over. More RBIs. They went up last year. I don't know what the average will end up, but certainly on the rise.
Jonathan is 254 off the left-handers this year. Jonathan hit 243 against them last season. Derek Holland. Pitch is in there for a strike. Orioles continue to see a lot of left-handers, as much as, if not more than any other team in the American League. They are 500, 11-11 in games started by a left-hander coming into this one tonight. Scope to be followed by Castillo. 0-1 delivery on the way, and a check swing. Did he go? Yes. And the streak is on.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, whatever you throw, I mean, hit one way over the Yankee bullpen, and that one, what, 450 feet, I think, or whatever, on a changeup.
2 for 5 off Holland. Pitch is going to miss away. Well, Derek Holland is trying to rebound. It has been really tough starts for him. Home runs galore, 14 earned runs last 2 starts. ERA's gone from 2.37 to 3.99, 2 games. Breaking ball will be taken inside. He's allowed 3 homers in each of the last 2. And he has not held opponents without a home run since May 16 in a game against the Angels.
Yeah, and you go back to the first inning, and you know, the record was a 2-strike pitch, 0-2. There's his pitching coach Don Cooper, and then he got Manny. Manny's trying to hit a fly ball, made a horrible 2-strike pitch there.
2-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to fall in for a base hit in left center field. So Scope continues hot. 2 for 3 last night. Starts out tonight with a 1-out single.
Yeah, he did hit it very hard. But again, if you look at your Mercedes pitch counts, it's going to tell you one thing. He's covering the outside corner, and Holland makes a pretty good pitch. He gets it in, but you could see him bring his hands in. And if you're a good hitter and you're a hot streak, you got to know where the barrel of the bat is. Probably the sweet spot on a bat is, I don't know, 10, 12 inches. And again, if you're hitting well, you know where that 10 or 12 inches is, and you just know that you can get it to the ball.
So Scope gets on with the Orioles base hit. That'll be their 3rd of the ball game. Castillo is DHing tonight in order to get the right-handers in the lineup. With that very big difference. Left-handers 200 off Holland and no home runs, and right-handers 274 with 14 homers. So Buck Showalter cleaned the bench of the righties for this one. Castillo's had an 0 for 2 against Holland in his career. Castillo DHing in the ball game. Will tap that one slowly. Only play is going to be Hansen over to first base to Abreu. Runner down to second, and there are 2 down. Father's Day weekend at Oriole Park. The O's take on the Cardinals. Friday is fireworks night presented by Maryland Excels. Then on Father's Day, all fans 15 and over will receive the grayscale cap, followed by the Kids Run the Bases presented by Wise Markets. The youngsters ages 4 to 14. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. So 2 down, Scope on at second base. Hardy comes up, a 3 for 15. Lifetime off Holland. Said the Orioles 5 for 10 with runners in scoring position last night. Still have the best number in the American League as a team at 305 in these situations. And Holland will come inside to him for a ball. So JJ looking for the RBI. Average better with runners in scoring position than the overall. Hardy has had an opportunity here with a runner out at second base. JJ 231 in these situations.
And they really play him shallow to the opposite field, which is what they should.
Well, they really have moved in.
Well, again, he doesn't really drive the ball. If he hits it to right field, it's either on the line or, and if he gets it up in the air, they're usually probably going to run it down. I cannot read, unless you're in Boston when he hit the pesky bowl of home runs last year. Very rarely does he homer to the opposite field or really drive the ball that way.
Willie Garcia and centers also move way in. Breaking ball is going to get away all the way to the backstop, and that's going to move Jonathan Scope over to third base. That'll be the third wild pitch by Holland this year. Now with two down, a runner at third.
Now Narvaez, he tries to get in front of it, but that curveball just bounces way out in front. And he kind of goes to what his right, and a lot of times curveballs will reverse spin. They'll go the other way. He couldn't get the body in front of it.
So they'll have a visit at the mound here with a 2-ball 1-strike count.
Well, the veteran called the rookie catcher out and said, don't call for that pitch again. I don't want to bounce it again.
Let's see if Hardy can get one in here. 2-ball 1-strike count. Delivery to him. JJ will take the pitch. Just miss inside. And he gets ahead on the count 3-1. Caleb Joseph, who's doing the catching tonight, is the on-deck batter.
I thought Brian O'Nora was doing a little naked gun and was going to come up with the right hand, you know, and do a little moonwalk. But
I think he was thinking about
trying to get out of the way.
3-1 delivery on the way, and that's there for a strike.
Now you can see, even though the average fastball from Derek Collins about 91, he can throw it as he did in his last game, 92, 93. And his ability when he was with Texas, you know, he had games where years where he won 16, 12 games when he was healthy. He could pitch into righties.
3-2 delivery on the way, and Hardy will put it up in the air. Heading into foul territory, Sanchez, shortstop, left fielder, Melky Cabrera. He goes over and puts it away. No runs on one hit, no errors, and a base runner left on. Orioles have the lead, 1-0. Start.
Yeah, you go back and you know the Orioles get him from the Phillies at the really the end of spring training. But a lot of those numbers, 0-6 with the Phillies in 2015, and he had an ERA of 9.31. So that's obviously going to inflate all those numbers. You may become more comfortable out of the bullpen because number one, you just get up and you start warming up. But he certainly, I mean, Buck Showalter loves his windup. He does have a good one. Probably has a windup that you can repeat, and that usually allows you to make your pitches or make quality pitches. I thought I would see more of the fastball, but he probably tops out maybe as a reliever at 93 and as a starter 91, 92 every once in a while. And that's pretty much right below the average Major League fastball.
Avisail Garcia comes to the plate. 5-game hit streak, continued it with a 2 for 5 in the ball game last night, vying for an all-star spot by the first half of the season that he has had. Certainly deserving of consideration. He is second in average in the league, tied for third in RBIs, tied for third in multi-hit games. He's fourth in hits, 8th in on-base percentage, and 9th in slugging. That'll go to second base. Scope had moved over that way, and Garcia is retired. One away here in the second inning. Host your next group outing this summer at Oriole Park. Discounted ticket prices for groups as small as 15. Party facilities to fit up to 1,000. Oriole Park can make your group outing an experience you'll never forget. Plus, group leaders can earn a variety of incentives. To learn more, visit Orioles.com/groups. South side is Chicago, and 17,000 plus last night for the ball game. Frazier up, DHing in the game tonight. Frazier made the start at third base last night.
Yeah, they got 10 runs and 14 hits, and he had been red hot, and you can see he goes 0 for 4. So that's not a good thing, but it's a good thing that they won, and they did score 10 runs.
Frazier's having another outstanding year. He's gone 12 for his last 30. 3 home runs covering an 8-game span. The runs last night, the White Sox with 10 of them. That's the most they've scored against the Orioles since July of 2009. Back then they had a night where they got 12 runs against them here in Chicago. What is Asher trying to get done tonight? Well, over the last 6 games, Orioles starters ERA is 15.5.
Yeah, only Bundy pitched well on Friday night in New York. Got out pitched by Jordan Montgomery. Yeah.
Hit hard right into the shift. Scope was moved right where he needed to be. Makes the play. Good ground ball outs coming here. 2 down.
Well, take a look again. You know, you talked, Gary, how well they hit against left-handers. Look at the 292. Righties a little bit different, so there's a big difference. And then the other team, Braves, Cubs, Angels, and then the Orioles. Certainly not as significant, but the biggest are the White Sox, and that's why they 13-7 against left-handed starters. They wear them out.
2 clubs struggling to stay out of the cellar right now. White Sox 27-35 are 6 games out. They are in last place. The Orioles are playing .500 baseball. The Orioles are at .500 for the first time since the end of the 2015 season, and they are 7.5 behind, as the Yankees have stayed hot in the American League East race.
Yeah, they beat the Angels 5-3. Aaron Judge hit his 22nd home run. They chose to pitch with him. The first base open, hit a home run into right center field.
That'll be grounded towards the hole. It'll be cut off. Good play by Manny on a short hop. And Davidson is retired. 6 up and 6 down for Alec Asher. The Orioles will have Caleb leading it off. 1-0 Orioles. 1 for 3 and covering 24 games. There's the slash line for him with that 300 average. He's had 6 home runs, 18 walks, 16 strikeouts, so helping the Red Sox win. And a look from Toronto. With the MLB trade deadline 6 away, it's time for teams on the fringe to reevaluate their position, decide if they're buying or selling. Interesting, Jamie Garcia, Atlanta, and Derek Holland, who's pitching tonight right here against the Orioles. 2 names who have been mentioned, potential rental arms for Toronto in what was called a surprisingly strong trade deadline class. So with the draft underway, the next thing will be the trade deadline discussion.
Yeah, for Derek Holland, obviously he wants to win games. He comes in at 4-6, but with all the injury he's had, shoulders and lat problems and then the knee problem after winning 12, 15, 16 games for Texas, that's what this year is about. And then, you know the White Sox are rebuilding. That's why Chris Sale is wearing a Red Sox uniform.
Yep.
Got 4 really good young players for him.
Caleb Joseph in the number 9 spot doing the catching, and 0 for 2 lifetime against Holland. Holland had some great years in Texas. Boy, he was a star of the ball club that was winning some ball games.
And they always used to say he's goofy, but everybody I talked to said he's a good guy. You know, he's left-handed. He's only 30, but again, health has been a problem.
Yep. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Joseph. Outfield shaded to right on the Oriole catcher. Caleb will foul one off that way.
And what did when we were walking in today with Adam Jones, he said, yeah, I'm glad they got that Danks guy retired. They got, because he was a White Sox. He said, what, I was 2 for 38. And he said, I can't even begin to tell you why.
Adam said it was as quiet and comfortable at the plate against him as anybody I hit against. The trouble was I didn't hit against him. Players remember. 1-2 delivery on the way, and
see, again,
you got to stop faking me out on that, Brian Onora.
He gets going.
Watch Brian's movement behind the plate.
Really,
now.
I mean, just think of Naked Gun.
Yeah. What is this going to be?
Yeah, and he's going to. You think he's going to go into it, and no, he's not.
I think he's doing
and
that.
I know
on
he
purpose.
can moonwalk. I know. I mean, maybe not as well as Leslie Nielsen, but.
Caleb takes it, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Veteran Brian Onora behind the plate. Quinn Walcott's at first. They got Ramon DeJesus at second base, and the crew chief Paul Emmel is at third.
And none of them can dance as well as Brian.
He has proven that already.
Yes, he really is.
So another full count. Holland starting to work these hitters long, and Caleb works him for a walk. So the Orioles get the leadoff man on here in the 3rd inning. Orioles baseball on MASN is brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Orioles leadoff man on 2 out of 3. That's been a problem for Holland. He's retired only 58% of leadoff batters on the year.
Yeah, well, that was that wasn't about being wild. That was about being maybe the first inning had something to do with him trying to make the perfect pitch, getting the 3-2, and not even throwing a ball close. It was a gift.
Now Rickard, who led the first inning off with a double and scored. Joy will take a breaking ball. Joy's now 3 for 4 in the only times he has faced Derek Holland. Moved back into the leadoff spot. As was true last night, runners go against the Chicago starter. They are 6 out of 7 stealing against Holland, but they've got a real strong arm catcher who's thrown out 5 out of 16. Showed bunt, dragging Davidson in from third base with it. 1-1.
And that'll bring him in for at least one more pitch. Yeah, Joey Rickard, they play him, and we saw it last night. They probably in the outfield go to more extremes. Willie Garcia in center, he's over. Cabrera down, the left fielders down the line. 15 of what? 15 to left, 5 up the middle, 5 to right for Joey Rickard.
That one froze him a little bit at 77, the off-speed pitch for a strike.
Well, Joey can hit the fastball, so they're going to try to get him out. And again, they're in one of those counts where they can try to do that with something other than the fastball. And they've got him in trouble with a leadoff walk to Caleb Joseph.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Orioles hitting into double plays. Spoiled chances early in the game last night. That'll go to short. Sanchez 1. Relay Hansen not in time. Joey can run.
Yeah, his first night with the ball club, and he's telling them to look at the picture. They make a nice job of turning it because Rickard can run a little bit. High chopper, it's fairly firm, and you can see right there, and bang bang at first.
No challenge. Talking about Hansen, who's starting at second base for this ball club. Hansen just joined the team on the 9th. He has appeared as a pinch runner. Has not had a plate appearance, and this is his first start. Alan Hansen claimed off waivers from Pittsburgh. So one down. Rickard takes over at first base. Adam Jones credited with a sacrifice that moved Joey Rickard into scoring position. Manny Machado brought that run home with a base hit. One down, ground ball. That's the hole. That's going to be off the glove of Sanchez, and that'll be an infield hit. Adam has been up there among the leaders in infield hits in the American League this year, and a lot of them have looked just like that. Balls knocked down, not quite going through.
Well, you can see him a little bit up the middle, so he's got to go a long way, and he does get the glove on it, but that's all he can do. And just kind of deflects it. Joey Rickard apparently not being able to pick up the ball because he actually slid into second base.
So Adam Jones with a single, and the Orioles with one down have runners on at first and second base, and Manny's going to get another RBI opportunity.
Well, you want to know how you get hot. You go 2 for 4 the first night in, then you go 1 for 1, so you're 3 for your last 5. When you don't get a base hit, you're walking. When you get on, you steal bases. That's the Manny Machado we're kind of used to seeing.
Manny hitting .225 with runners in scoring position this season. That, of course, has been a good number for Manny since joining the Orioles. See if he can up the number right here. Rickard with great speed in the outfield, very deep in right and not so deep in center and left.
And once again playing him the pull.
Yeah, leaving that big gap in right center field.
Well, that's his strength. That's where the 2 hits went last night.
Off the end, nubbed foul.
Of course, Holland's going to go soft. Tried to throw a fastball. At least I think he tried to cut it in on his fist, and he hit it off the base of the wall, and it got thrown out trying to stretch it into a double.
Joey Rickard, Adam Jones, base runners. Statcast powered by AWS. Actually getting a bit lighter at the ballpark. Those dark clouds have moved a bit away. The light's taking effect, and also a little bit of the sunset showing up in the high sky. Manny Machado waiting in the 0-2 delivery, and the fastball will be taken away. Holland. 42 pitches with only 1 out here in the 3rd inning. He's taken a couple of 3-2 counts, had a 3 or 4, 6, 7 pitch at bats already, as the Orioles have battled him early here in the game. 1-2 delivery by the lefty, and Manny on a breaking ball as it blocked 2-2. It's a lot of chewing in on that mouth guard. Two, 1 out. Manny trying to stay out of that double play. Rickard edges off at second. 2-2 delivery and a silo shot coming back. And he will not ever play.
Well, there's a term in baseball when you really take a big swing that you leave earth. And this was one of those. I'm going to leave earth on this because this curveball hangs. And big swing. Hits it straight up, and little Adrian Beltre down on the back knee.
All that's gone on with the Orioles, you cringe a little bit on those. Injury wise.
Well, that's how his career started, with ligament problems in both right and left knee.
Rickard and Jones, the base runners. 2-2 delivery from Holland, and got him to chase.
Well, you try to do a little bit too much, you know, when Manny's at his best. Any hitter's at his best. You cut down your swing with 2 strikes, and he chases way out of the zone. And he knows it. I mean, all you got to do is look at the face. Got a pitch to hit, fouled it off, and then chased.
So a big strikeout for Holland. His first is the second out of the inning. Mark Trumbo popped out his first time up. Marked at 295 with runners in scoring position. He and Adam Jones up there among the leaders for the Orioles in these situations. Hansen, the second baseman's moved way over, so Rickard not getting a particularly big lead off second base with 2 down. Breaking ball will be there for a strike. Mark not in complete agreement.
Grimaces.
Trumbo here in the month of June hitting at 220, and he's had 1 home run.
And another.
How many visits have we had so far? About 5 times to the mound for the catcher. Narvaez, youngster. Holland, veteran. Trying to get on the same page here. Oh, on the count. Pitch away, got it away and fouled off.
Another ball off the plate. Yeah, Mark came in actually about 25 points higher against lefties. More home runs against right-handed pitching because he sees more. A 278 hitter. Up southpaws. With 3 of those 8 home runs.
Trumbo's done a number on the White Sox in the games this year. He's had coming in with 7 hits, 16 at bats, no home runs, and a real solid average. 0-2, 2 down. Runners off first and second, and another one chased. So Holland gets a couple of big strikeouts here in the 3rd inning. No runs, 1 hit, 2 are left on base.
Well, the future. B.L. Hall, a left-handed pitcher. Adam Hall, a shortstop out of Canada. Zach Lowther, a left-handed pitcher. And then you can see down the list. So there you go. Well, good luck to all of them. Some will get paid better than others. They all will have the same opportunity.
Buck said, I wish them all well, but I won't be here.
He did say that. No, but what he did say in his pregame meeting that, you know, again, your scouts and whatever, there is a major leaguer in every round.
Yes, that is true.
And there's some at least more obvious than others. Some guys will get more opportunities.
And a foul off the end of the bat. Narvaez, who is doing the catching. Solid arm, as we mentioned, 25 years old. Narvaez out of Venezuela. Best defensive catcher in the White Sox system, rated by Baseball America last year. That ball in the air to left field. Rickard moves over. He's there. That's 7 in a row that have been retired by Alec Asher. The Orioles take on the Cleveland Indians June 19 through the 22nd at Oriole Park. On Wednesday, June 21, all fans will receive the Dylan Bundy t-shirt. Paint the park orange. Good seats remain. Available for as low as $15. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Dylan, who's been the rock in the rotation, and has given them the starts. With Chris Tillman there with him, and Kevin on the right. Gosman. Pitch is taken for a strike. Willie Garcia getting the start in center field. Garcia, then Hansen.
And they're both the Hansen, as you mentioned, just acquired from the Pittsburgh Pirates, as was Willie Garcia last year. And you can see last night got a couple of hits. Big guy, real big.
And the pitch will be taken away. He's gone 3 for 7 against the Orioles this season. Getting a chance, get some starts in center field. And the pitch is going to miss away.
Yeah, you can see him trying to dot the outside corner and missing. He hadn't thrown many cutters tonight, and that's a pitch that he can fall in love with. Did not have one at all in his last start. Talking about Alex Asher against the Nats.
And that pitch is going to be away. So trying to get him to chase for a third strike wouldn't do it. Count goes full 3-2.
Well, Gary, he does have a slider. He does have a curveball. Does have a changeup. But see Caleb Joseph saying, "Okay, there's the glove," and he missed 4 straight balls off the plate.
That'll be the first walk surrendered and the first base runner for the White Sox tonight, with 1 away here in the 3rd. Fans, remember, anytime the O's score 4 runs or more, you win free McDonald's Chicken McNuggets. Download McDonald's app today. Available in Baltimore area McDonald's. Early lead, first inning. And the Orioles trying to hang on to it. Hansen coming up, switch hitter. Getting his first appearance at the plate for the Chicago White Sox, with a start at second base.
Well, he's a speedster.
And he'll foul it away.
And over 200 stolen bases in the minor leagues.
He was on the opening day roster for the Pirates. Did not hit well. 193 in 37 games, and then was designated for assignment. And that's how the White Sox came to claim him on the 9th of this month. Switch hitter. 0-1 count. Willie Garcia at first base, being held. Pitches there for a strike in the inside corner.
Yeah, that's a late movement. You give up on it, it runs right back into the strike zone.
Garcia's totals, Hansen's totals, obviously not many on the year, and he wasn't hitting with the Pirates, just not getting many chances. Timeout had been asked for, and Brian O'Neill backed away before the pitch was ever thrown. So the count will stay at 2 strikes. White Sox have about as many switch hitters as you'll see on any
you're always
major league team.
You're always looking for talent that's either equal or better than some of the guys you have. He played at AAA Indianapolis last year for the Pirates and had a very good year. Stole 32 bases. So it gives you speed. You mentioned switch hitting capabilities, 8 home runs.
Count to him, goes the ball at 2 strikes. Alec Asher, all games started. Orioles have gone 1-4 in the 5 previous starts he's made this year. 1-2 delivery on the way. Hack down to first base. Mancini's going to go 1. No relay. Over to first. They get the out on Willie Garcia at second base.
Yeah, Trey does a nice job again, playing so much outfield, even though he did come in for the injured Chris Davis last night, but he gets to it very quickly, and that gives him a better angle. Watch how quickly he comes off. He comes in. Now it gives him an angle. Strong throw. You're probably only, if you know Hansen at all, and I'm sure Trey knows that he can run a little bit, just get the lead runner. Got yourself a 1-0 lead.
Orioles are looking at that in the video. No challenge made. So a runner on at first base, 2 down. Yolmer Sanchez at the top of the order. Grounded out his first time up. He's had a 4.44 for 14 against the Orioles so far. Pretty good lead by Hansen over there at first base. There are 2 away.
Well, they're 5 for 5 off of Alex Asher. And again, we told you about his capabilities. 205 steals, caught 87 times in the minors. And again, you got your leadoff guy at the plate. If you think you can steal a base, he's probably going to be running because he'll be leading off the next inning if you throw him out.
After the first one and fouls it away. 2 down.
Yeah, the thing about speed is everything. I mean, quickens the pace of everything. You know, if you're an infielder, you know, whether you're Sanchez who can run, I mean, you got to hurry. If you're an outfielder and you know Hansen can run on first, you got to cut the ball off in the gap. You know, the ability to score from first on almost all doubles. That's what speed gives you.
Jason's one up high, and the count will go to 0-2. Ash has been able to get ahead of hitters. 2 strike counts. Phenomenal number regarding the Orioles in this 10-game road losing streak. During those 10 games, the Orioles have held the lead for 4 of 90 innings. 4 out of 90 coming into this game during the 10-game road losing streak. They're going to have a chance to equal that number here in this ball game if Asher can continue to get the White Sox out of there for this inning and another.
Yeah, if you just go on this road trip. Started in Washington. Asher pitched that game. He was down 5-0 when he left. Close game in New York when Bundy pitched against Montgomery, and then 6-0, 5-0.
Runner not going to go, and the pitch just misses inside.
And then last night it was 6-0.
So far, Asher solid. 1 ball, 2 strike count with 2 down. No roster changes made by the Orioles today. Chris Davis did not go on the DL. Probably will tomorrow. The Orioles try and figure out what to do again with their roster. 1-2 count. Hansen the lead off first. And that ball up in the air towards right center field. Over to get it. And hauling it in is Trumbo. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Oriole fans celebrating in Chicago. Orioles baseball brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. What drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals.
What do they call those things? Right there.
Heart stoppers. Smell good though. We go to the fourth inning and a 1-0 ball game. RBI first inning. Rickard got the leadoff double brought home by Manny Machado in the base hit. The White Sox have had one base runner, a walk, in the third inning. Trey Mancini grounded out his first time up. Scope and then Castillo against the left-hander Derek Holland. Holland has gone only 1-3 at home, but his ERA here is 2.74. He's pitched pretty well. Doesn't have big run support, and the game started here on the south side.
Yeah, those games early, and you know, over the years, when you come in here and talk to hitting instructors, pitching coaches, it's a pretty good place to pitch in April and May. When the weather warms up, not that it, which is what it was yesterday, and now maybe a little different. A good breaking ball right there, and he's pitched well tonight. You know, he made a couple of mistakes in the first inning, and that's the only run. And they were when he was ahead in the count with 2 strikes to both the leadoff hitter Rickard and Manny Machado.
Mancini will chase up and away. That's where the Orioles have gone for the strikeouts.
Well, that's 3 in a row, and kind of the same formula. Go soft, and then, I mean, this ball not even close to being a strike, as was to Trumbo, as was to Manny Machado. Narvaez, I mean, he's off the plate by about 6 to 8 inches.
And he went around on that, I do believe. Jonathan Scope, a base hit, his first time up. Oriole hitters have been piling up strikeouts. They now have the 3rd most Ks. They have struck out 3rd most times in the American League. Tampa Bay struck out 667 times coming into today's play. The Orioles now up to 559. Ahead of them, Toronto at 581. Those are the top 3 teams offensively striking out. 0-2 count. Holland's delivery again up high.
Yeah, well, he goes. Well, I just did it to the last 3 hitters. Might as well try it again. Not close enough.
One-two delivery on the way, and it'll be a breaking ball down. Holland's had problems. The home runs we talked about, most of those have come on pitches up. Of the 14 he's surrendered, 13 have come on pitches in the upper 2/3 of the strike zone or above it, which according to StatCast is the 2nd most in the majors. Home runs surrendered in pitches up. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that one will be fouled off into the seats. Jim Coons, American League leaderboard. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons.
Again, you know the best offenses have a depth from the beginning to all the way to the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th hitters, and look what 6 and 7 has done this year. Glowing numbers.
Scope waiting on a 2-2 delivery, and he's out of there.
Yeah, that one wasn't up and away. It just gave up on that 2-seamer that ran back, caught the inside part of the plate.
4 strikeouts in the game and 4 consecutive.
Well, this is the way I used to pitch at Texas. Soft, 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 and then just buzzes it in. You give up on it because of the movement.
Wellington Castillo doing the DHing in the ball game. Grounded out his first time up. 2 down here in the 4th inning. This one starting as a pitcher's duel, and the pitch way up high. Alec Asher with a walk and a strikeout has not given up a hit. Holland, a walk and 4 strikeouts, has given up 4 hits and 1 run. Breaking ball that will miss, going for the outside corner. 4-game set here to be continued tomorrow night. Dylan Bundy, Miguel Gonzalez, 7:30. O's Extra, 8 o'clock the game on Masson 2. 2-0 delivery. Castillo looks at 1 up. 3-0 pitch to him, and he'll find the outside corner with that one. Wellington has really tagged the lefties. 350 average against left-handers coming in. Righties too at 278. Big numbers off left-handers. He's had 40+ at bats now against lefties. That one a breaking ball in as well.
Yeah, changeup, I think, and it's one of the few he's thrown tonight.
Three-two, full count pitch will be up. So there is walk number 2. The Orioles keep the inning alive here in the 4th with 2 down. Runner at first, and J.J. Hardy coming up. J.J. flied out to left field, first time to the plate. So now 3 for 16 lifetime against the lefty Holland. Again, the outfield moving in. Garcia way in and right. Willie Garcia center field way in and being moved even more towards right field. That left center field gap is could drive a few big trucks through that one. Willie Garcia looking into the dugout, trying to figure out where he's supposed to be in center field.
I mean, last night they played J.J. Hardy to pull.
Yeah,
and that's where he hit the first ball on a hanging breaking ball.
That's a fair ball. It'll roll into foul territory off the glove of Davidson, and that will be a base hit. So Hardy down the line keeps it alive as he gets the single. 2 on and 2 away. Made the dive, couldn't make the clean play.
Yeah, if he catches it, going to be a long throw, and you can see a great angle right here. Ball hit sharply, and again he just kind of overslid it. Still would have been a difficult play. Would have had to get up. Probably a play that Frazier makes.
Well, let's see if the Orioles can take advantage here and do what they have done so much of this year, and that's get that 2-out RBI going.
Well, for Caleb, 8 for 24 coming in, and runner in scoring position numbers, and go softer, boys. That's
Orioles so far with a 1 for 4 tonight. Caleb to walk his first time up. Castillo at second. Hardy on at first base. There are 2 down. Tags it, pulled it, foul. There's one of those Holland pitches. It was up, hittable, but couldn't keep the barrel back long enough. Listen, good buddy.
Yeah, Narvaez
like
saying, "Well, don't do it. I mean, okay, if you're going to hang it high, Clint Eastwood style, so he can pull it foul."
Oh, it looked like he had a smile out of the conversation with his catcher there. 0-2 count.
Well, you love it when the catcher comes out there. Rick Dempsey would come in. He goes, that wasn't a very good pitch. But the good news is they hit it foul. Don't do it again. Please.
Let's see what he does with it. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way. Up and away to Caleb.
For Rick Dempsey, the key to really get your attention, he would just kind of nudge you in the face with his catcher's glove, just to make sure you were paying attention.
That's a real good idea. Yeah. That would gain your attention. All right.
It would.
1-2 delivery on the way. Caleb high in the air, headed to the seats. Cabrera coming over, and will not have a play.
Yeah, another breaking ball. This one down, and it's kind of in the happy zone. Caleb, a very, very good low, thigh high inside part of the plate hitter. That's where his power is.
Caleb last year in facing left-handers went 3 for 36. This season against the lefties, he's up to 267. A dramatic change against left-handed pitchers. Runners off first and second. There are 2 down. 1-2 delivery on the way, and just nicks that one foul.
Yeah, pretty good approach though. Stayed back just long enough, and they keep throwing them soft stuff. This time away, and again, that's one of those. I'm just going to try to spoil that. And if he had hit it, he would have hit it up the middle or to right center field. I figure at some point Hollins is going to have to try to come in with a fastball.
1-2 delivery on the way. Upstairs.
And you can see he can add. I mean, the 4 consecutive strikeouts were 3 of them were on 93 to 94 up and away. And again, if he's going to be a trade chip, that's what scouts are looking for. Can he get out there every 5th day, and can he throw 100 to 115 pitches, and what's his velocity when you get into the 5th, 6th, 7th innings?
Once 1-2 will miss inside.
Brian O'Nora again.
We wait to be sure.
Scrambling.
So Caleb works him. Going to be the 8th pitch of the at bat coming here. Orioles trying to add to that 1-run lead, take advantage of a 2-out walk and a single. Holland's had a lot of these long at bats. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and got him on a breaking ball in. Didn't tag him. Throw's got to be made, and is. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. Good ball game underway. Asher back to the mound. Last 3 seasons are Major League Notebook. These are the 3 who went first. 1916, the Phillies' first pick. 2016, rather. Moniak graduated, single A ball. Phillies, Lakewood this season, hitting .266, 14 doubles, 5 stolen bases. Phillies like him. They think he's going to be a part of their future. 2015, it was Dansby Swanson of the Diamondbacks. Never suited up, though, with Arizona. Instead, declined to sign, became a centerpiece in a deal. Shelby Miller involved, struggled first season. Braves starting shortstop, and there you see the numbers. And for Brady Aiken of the Astros, 2014, he didn't sign with the Astros. Instead, 17th overall later by the Indians. 7-12 rookie ball and a 1-8 with a 61 in the 3rd innings pitched in single A this season.
Yeah, they kind of they backed off their offer because he needed Tommy John surgery, so he did sign with Cleveland, and then has struggled with his command. And
it's not an easy road, whether you're drafted
Cody
first
Sedlock,
or 7th.
Yeah, last year's #1 draft choice, pitching I think at Frederick, college pitcher.
Melky Cabrera, strikeout victim, his first time up. Melky, Abreu, and then Garcia. 2-3-4 against Alec Asher. And that'll be foul back. Asher has been able to keep him off balance, not the big cuts we saw from the hitters in the ball game last night.
Well, Todd Steverson, the hitting instructor for the White Sox, said, I said, you guys had a nice approach. He said, well, Miley threw everything away. And it's the one difference. And you can see Asher trying to get a change up there, but he has pitched in and out enough. Of course, it will get a little tougher now, second time around. If you're a starter, you better be able to get a guy out more than one way. And right there, that's an extra base swing right there. These 3-2 counts will kill you because you got to throw more of the ball over the plate, which makes you more hittable as a pitcher.
And Cabrera's going to get a base hit in the left center field. Do their first hit. You'll make a turn. Adam will get it back in and hold him. So the first hit for the White Sox, a leadoff single here in the 4th inning by Melky Cabrera. Lock in your Birdland summer. Reserve your seats for upcoming promotions, including Britain Bobblehead Day and Infielders Bottle Stopper Set, 25th anniversary Oriole Park replica ballpark, and there'll be more. Go to Orioles.com/tickets or 888-848-BIRD. So the leadoff man on first time, and Abreu, who grounded out his first time up. Couple of hits, 6 at bats in these 2 games. He will take the pitch inside for a ball.
Yeah, the ability to hit it pretty much anywhere in the ballpark. 23 hits to left, 22 up the middle, 23 to right. And the more I see him, he reminds me of Orlando Cepeda, who ended up in the Hall of Fame. You know, he can hit it anywhere.
1-0 delivery to him. Abreu's going to get a base hit, same place. Runner will stop at second. So Cabrera and Abreu deliver back-to-back singles to start the 4th inning.
Well, again, the second time through the lineup, if you're not mixing up your speeds, if you're not staying out of the middle of the plate, because this pitch and the one to Abreu, now that's on the corner, but he hadn't thrown a whole lot. So he missed in to start, and then they just look away, and he gets exactly what he wants, and then this is why Jose Abreu can hit. Wasn't a horrible pitch. It's just, again, it's, you know, 89, 90, which is not that much slower than what they see in batting practice.
ACL Garcia with runners on at first and second. He grounded out his first time up.
And
the middle part of the order, giving Alec Asher a test here. And the Orioles 1-0 lead in jeopardy here in the 4th inning. You'll look for the ground ball right here. Garcia strike.
There's a little cut fastball. And of course, he's also not only the highest average hitter, but the highest average hitter with runners in scoring position at just under 340. So how do you play the big points if you're playing tennis? You've got to make a pitch here. And it's not going to be easy against this guy because he's been red hot.
Runners on first and second base. Broken bat. Pitch count. Nothing wrong with that at the moment.
Well, he needs a strikeout, and got one in the 1st inning on Cabrera. That or a double play ball. And we talked about defenses. They really give him the left field line. And we saw that last night as both of his hits were to center. You can see Adam Jones over there in right center here, and then Rickards all the way over here. So a huge gap down the line.
Set up away, and the 0-2 delivery, and that's going to go to the same place and tie the game up. Cabrera will make the turn. He'll score. They may get a lead. Abreu's being waved home. Cutoff man, no play at the plate. Double 2 RBIs for Garcia, and a 2-1 White Sox lead.
Well, boy, is he in a fastball mode this inning. Again, right there, almost the same, and I mean, just something out over the plate. And he's looking forward to. I mean, he's a big man at 6'4", 230, so long arms. And he hits it so hard, Rickard can't run it down. Jones does. And we'll see if Frazier will take a shot to right field here, trying to add runs.
No hits till the inning. 3 in a row to start the 4th. Bunting, really battling.
Well, it was good in a way for Frazier because it was so far foul. You like the effort, you know, he's thinking. You know, they came off a 2-7 road trip. They're like the Orioles don't play well, 14-24. was talking about it down at the cage. He said, listen, hey, you want to win, but if you're playing hard, and somehow Rick Renneria has been able to get this club, even though they're, 8 games under 500, to play with a lot of energy. You just kind of do the things you're supposed to do to win.
Playable. And Cini will get under it and put it away for the first out here in the inning. So Frazier retired on the pop out. Garcia remains at second base. I told you the clouds clearing away after brief rain here before the ball game. Pretty sunset. Cool night. 68 degrees when we started. Still cooling off. So Asher trying to work his way out of the inning. Davidson coming up. Grounded out his first time up. Team leading 11th home run. He hit it last night, even though he's only had 3 hits in his last 24 at bats. Garcia off second base, 1 down. And the pitch away.
Yeah, that's how your batting average can fall, obviously, to 245, but he's hitting 355 points higher when you get guys in scoring position. Big, strong. Susceptible to the breaking ball, except that Asher really doesn't throw a whole lot of them. There's a fastball with good life.
One delivery by Asher, and that will be there for a strike. Davidson 1-2. So Asher trying to work his way around a 4th inning here and hold the White Sox down to just a couple of runs. The Orioles, who had been able to get a lead in the 1st inning, unable to hold it here in the bottom half of the 4th. Big lead at second. 1-2 delivery away. Now it's coming off the Washington game where he worked just 4 innings, 5 runs, 7 hits. Ended up throwing 100 pitches in that ball game. Trying for that outside corner again, and they're waiting. 3-2.
Well, the 2 singles and the double were almost all in the same location, and that was either middle to outside corner. But again, he had mixed his pitches up here in the 4th, and he's paying for it.
Outfield very deep against Davidson, center and left. 3-2 count, runner off second, 1 away. Down to third, foul. So Davidson will get to see his 7th pitch of this at bat. He's picked up on the year, a couple of RBIs against the Orioles. 2 hits. The 8 at bats, including the home run in the ball game last night. The 3-2 delivery again by Asher. That'll go to third. Machado makes sure runner stays and gets the out to Mancini. So yeah. Davidson retired.
Yeah, nice pitch, able to get somewhere up on the bat with the soft ground ball.
So the White Sox after a 2-out RBI. Naviez coming to the plate. Their young catcher flied out to left field his first time up. Orioles swing the infield around a little bit, but not very much. Nowhere near a full shift on him. He goes towards the hole. Mancini's got it. Pitcher covers, flip, and got it. A good job by Asher after the first 3 reached. Couple of runs on 3 hits, a base runner left on. The White Sox up by 1. By the University of Maryland Medical System, be a part of something greater. And by Chesapeake Employers Insurance, your workers' compensation insurance company. Ending up being a gorgeous night. It was a beautiful day, actually. And then the Thunder Bumpers rolled through late in the afternoon. Clears up again. And
Good look at tomorrow. I think back up to 90 degrees tomorrow.
93 last night, 68 tonight. And tomorrow we'll be right back here for Game 3. With Dylan Bundy on the mound against Miguel Gonzalez, former Oriole. 7:30 O's Extra. 8 o'clock the ball game on Masson 2. Derek Holland. Now he'll see if he can have a shutdown inning after his offense gets a couple of runs and makes it a 2-1 ball game. Joey Rickard has doubled and scored, hit into a fielder's choice. Jones and then Machado will be coming up. Orioles here in the month of June, 4-7. They have had 3 runs or more than 3 runs only 4 times. As that's going to go into left center field, and Rickard gets it done again. He'll make a big turn, challenge the outfielders. Here's the throw. They dropped it. He take advantage of it. Good play by Rickard.
Yeah, out of the box, thinking, okay, if he misplays it or gets up the gap, didn't hit it that hard, hit it off the end of the bat, but so not going to get up the gap, but a hittable pitch. Not too many of these. And again, Willie Garcia right here. Kind of stops and then puts it on. He really runs with his head down. He did it earlier on when Jonesy got the single, so he doesn't really pick up balls. I guess maybe again young, and also doesn't want to trip over first.
So Adams going to get the opportunity to tie this ball game up. Orioles 1 for 5 tonight in these situations. Pitch is going to be taken for a strike. Runner on at second base. Error was charged, so it will be a single. And the error charged on Willie Garcia in center, allowing him to go to second base. Adams still leading the pack, 395 in these situations, number 1 in the American League. That's going to go to right where he wanted to go with it. Base hit. Late start as he had to wait at second, so Rickard will stop at third.
Well, what a nice approach that is. It's about as refreshing as the wind off the lake here in Chicago. Breaking ball again. If you look for it, it's a lot more hittable, and that's what he looked like he did. And so again, right here, I mean, there you go. Just cover the outside corner. You could see it's almost like playing pepper, and he pings it into right, creates the first and third. As Rickard had to make sure that Garcia didn't catch it.
Orioles now with 7 hits on the board. First and third, nobody out. Manny Machado's had a chance for an RBI all 3 of his at bats. He got one in the first inning with Rickard on in scoring position, struck out with 2 on in the 3rd inning, and now first and third here in the 5th, and the fastball is up high. So Holland, who's got the 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, unable to get him out here, and the Orioles, the 2 for 6, have a chance to get it tied up again or better. Looking for a comeback inning of their own offensively. 1-0 delivery on the way, and that'll be popped up in the infield. And handled by Hansen.
Yeah, again, if you're going to try to pull the ball, you can't wait for the breaking ball. Even that was not a particularly good breaking ball. He just popped it up. I mean, take a look right here. I mean, this is, I'm going to really go for it. You can see the ball, almost belt high, and he just gets underneath it.
That is the first out of the inning. Manny not real happy. Holland gets one of them. Now Mark Trumbo coming up. Mark, same position Manny was in. He had a first inning with Manny on and unable to move him around, and then first and second in the 3rd inning and struck out. Now he gets another runner in scoring position chance. Set up way away outside the strike zone. That's where it was almost
like, yeah, I'm going to throw you a changeup off the plate. If you want to chase it, go ahead. struck him out on that ball up and away. Maybe a questionable pitch to get to 2 strikes and then chased strike 3.
Mark carries a big .319 average against Holland with 5 home runs. Ground ball to the middle. They got a force at second and over to first. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and a base runner left on. So the first 2 reach, but the Orioles cannot get a run in. A lucky 13. In 1921 for the Babe, he hit a 460-foot homer, center field bleachers in the old Polo Grounds. It was the first home run ever hit to that spot at that big ballpark. And in 1957, Ted Williams, first American League player with 3 home runs and at least 5 RBIs in 2 different ball games in the same season. We get a number of those now, but he was the first to do it.
And what the dead ball era ended, I believe, in 1930. So that
sounds about right.
Yeah, that 460-foot home run was with the ball that wasn't quite as lively.
The sock ball. It's like a rolled up pair of socks.
Really? That would have been a nice time to play.
A good time to pitch.
Just,
if you get it up there.
Yeah, you have a headache the day you have to play the Yankees. You know, murderer's row. And then other than that, go after them. Maybe not the Tigers because of Ty Cobb. You don't want to be playing that day either in pitching.
Garcia leading it off to a walk his first time up. Hansen and then Sanchez at the top of the order. Asher's delivery will be fouled away. Asher with a walk and a strikeout. Garcia's had a couple of hits and 3 at bats here in the first 2 games. Orioles unable to get a run across in that 5th inning with a big chance. 1-1 delivery. Boy, he cranks. Takes that big cut. And it corkscrews the legs even before he starts to swing the bat. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Just 24 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. Ground ball to third, fair ball. Manny on a Manny play. Look at the arm, and Mancini picks it on the backhand at first. Trey Mancini.
Yeah, after night after night, it becomes routine. And again, just quickly gets it out of his glove. It was probably got it out so quickly, even if it had been off another foot, he could have caught it and tagged the bag. Probably had more time to play it another way, but again, just get it out of the glove, catch it first. I thought your interview with Trey Mancini on the other side of the diamond was pretty good today. He said the first thing you got to do is catch the ball.
There's a push bunt. Another bad one that's going to be popped up, and Hansen's out of there.
Yeah, well, and again, this is what Hansen's going to bring to this lineup if he gets the ball on the ground, his speed. But probably not playing a whole lot, as you mentioned, with the Pirates. And then when he was put on waivers, claimed by Chicago, so not a lot of practice doing that.
Easy out. Asher will take that one. And there are 2 down. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sanchez at the top of the order. He has grounded out, flied out. Switch hitter, top of the order, shows bunt. Their shortstop trying to draw Manny Machado in, and will at least even with a bag. Manny moved over a little bit towards the shortstop side. Here's the 0-1 delivery by Asher. Fouled off. It's never too cold, never too hot for ice cream. It's always just right. There's a young lady who certainly knows that. Yelmer Sanchez will take one in the dirt. Sanchez is only 24 years old, so another one of the young players. AAA and the big club last year. He had 33 games, 31 starts at second base, and got his first run, actually, RBI against the Orioles last year on May 1st. 1 ball, 2 strike count. 2 down, nobody on. Asher looking for the good quick inning right here, and will miss inside. So real good pitchers duel underway. Asher is giving the Orioles some depth here as he works into the 5th inning, and solid depth. Ground ball to the middle is going to be a base hit. First hit of the 2-game series here for Sanchez.
Yeah, he got a curveball the last time and wasn't able to do much. This time able to.
Base hit with 2 down. Melky Cabrera coming up. Cabrera got a single leading off the 4th. He and Abreu would score on the Garcia double. Avisail Garcia, the 2 RBIs in that 4th inning. Melky Cabrera's also struck out, and that'll be taken inside. All those days in the American League for Cabrera. By far the most games played against the Orioles. This is his 113th game played against the Orioles, and he carries a .313 lifetime average against the O's. 1-0 count with 2 down. Asher look over, not a big lead. Got him to go away.
Yeah, good change up there. Yeah, got in trouble, and because he led off the 4th inning when they scored their 2 runs, because he went 3-2, threw him a fastball. This time turns it over. It's a really good changeup. And you're going to start, especially 3rd time through the order. Better use all your pitches, or at least be able to, or at least show them that you're capable of.
Runner off first, 1-1 delivery on the way. Cabrera pops it up at the infield, 3rd base. Manny's there, puts it away. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. White Sox lead at 1. that road trip where they came home, started the series with the Orioles. They were 2-7. They have been delivering some pretty good offense. Warm-up action, first time we've had it in the game.
Chris Beck, who's pitched very well.
White Sox hitting .287, 34 home runs, and they've averaged 5 runs a ball game over their last 26 games. A problem, and the Orioles know about it. Their rotation ERA is 6.3 over that same time, so they score 5, give up 6. Tonight, not that kind of a ball game.
Well, what are the odds? And I'm sure that Derek Carl's never going to tell you, but first and third, 3-4 coming up, maybe 5, and you get out of it.
Trey Mancini starts it here. He has grounded out, struck out, Scope, and then Castillo. Derek Holland, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Working in the 6th inning. 0-1 delivery. 0-2.
Yeah, nice blend of mixing up his pitches. 2 seamers, 4 seamers. When he gets ahead, he's gotten the chase out of the strike zone, which the Orioles have a tendency to do.
0-2 pitch on the way. Protecting on the pitch away was Mancini.
But you get an idea. I mean, that ball was smoked, and that was what, 3-4 inches off the outside corner. What did he tell you in your interview? Look away, react in.
He has an idea when he comes to the plate.
Yeah, now they're coming in.
Trey comes in, a 3-game hit streak for him, 4 hits for his last 12 at bats, including the 0 for 2 tonight, a couple of home runs during that 3-game span. Holland's delivery and further inside and misses. Trey with a 2-ball 2-strike count, knowing he was going to be playing first base today with Chris Davis out. Came out early again, came out early yesterday in order to take fly balls in left field, came out early today in order to take ground balls and throws at first. Just tips it foul.
Yeah, the ability to stay alive. And again, this ball, he turns this one over. It's a 2-seamer, so it's going to run away from the right-hander, and it did.
Navaez taking a little bit of that one. Count remains at 2-2. Lefty's delivery to him, and that'll be away.
Yeah, really slowed his arm up on that changeup. Hadn't thrown too many of those pitches.
Mancini shows he's been able to work the count. 8th pitch of this at bat. Goes in the air to right field. That one's towards the gap, and that's going to make it. It'll take a hop off the screen. Trey Mancini on his way to second base. And the Orioles get a leadoff double here in the 6th.
Well, that's what good hitters do. They flick off the quality pitches, which is why he got to, what, 8 or 9 pitches. And then when you make a mistake, because the count gets, where you got to throw a strike, and he's waiting. I mean, foot down, and this ball is just a bullet into right center field. And the other thing about him is that he actually came out of the box thinking triple until Garcia got to it.
He continues to be outstanding work.
106 miles per hour. Line drive for a double.
Jonathan Scope, a base hit, and he is struck out. He'll pop it up. That seems to be what the Orioles do after
well,
they get a
overswing.
runner on
Yeah,
base.
he overswing on hanging curveballs, and he was looking for it. I'll give him granted. I mean, the only guy that's been able to really look for that pitch and do any damage was Adam Jones last time he came to the plate.
For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50, supporting the American Diabetes Association. 168 walks, $8,400. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Beck's been up, Jennings just getting up. So Mancini remains at second base. 1 down. Now Wellington Castillo. He has drawn a walk and he is grounded out. Orioles 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Mancini ought to be a little bit tight at second base. Hansen, the second baseman, is shifted over right behind him. See Hansen, 39 there, moving in. Derek Holland, 1-0 count on him. Got a hold of that one to left field. That's going to be back. That is at the wall and caught. Melky Cabrera trying for two. Won't get it. It'll be backed up. Cabrera's already had an assist on a throw and gets one right at the top of the wall.
Yeah, I tell you, nice approach by Wellington Castillo, because he's looking for his changeup and he gets it, and then Cabrera, Gold Glove performance in this series, and he's thinking, well, I got 12 assists, and here comes Renteria, because I think he's seen enough. Rick's going to come out because a couple of balls hit hard this inning. And he's got a very good end of the bullpen. So again, this ball just hit on the end of the bat, so it allows him to get to it. And then a nice catch as he praises himself for the collision. Now he's going to maybe leave him in.
Melky Cabrera robbing Castillo of an RBI and an extra base hit. He's played some defense. So still at second base is Trey Mancini with a leadoff double. And Holland will get a chance to finish it off with Hardy coming up. Hardy's had a base hit and he has flied out. There are two down now. Holland's delivery to him, and it'll be there for a strike.
Yeah, they have what, 8 guys in their bullpen, 7 righties and Jennings, the lefty, and I'm sure he was up just in case if you pinch hit with Seth Smith, you'll get that matchup.
Holland trying to work his way out of another jam. Tail away pitch, Hardy after it.
Well, again, the veteran pitcher, as you mentioned, before all the injuries, I mean, really hadn't been able to stay healthy the last 3 years. But again, he's got an array of pitches.
Orioles getting chances, needing a big hit. 0-2 delivery on the way, and it'll be up. So JJ takes it, a 1-ball 2-strike count, 2 down. The Orioles in the last half inning at the plate, able to put the first 2 on, had runners at first and third, and could not score a run. They get the leadoff double by Mancini here in the 6th inning, and Hardy's going to have to get it done with 2 away. Outfield shaded to right and moved in again. 1-2 pitch on the way, and JJ will take a bouncer.
Yeah, just trying to maybe show him something and get him out on his front foot. And as last time, very shallow outfield.
White Sox battling the Red Sox for the most visits by a catcher to the mound. 2-ball 2-strike count. Hardy to right field, hit it hard, but right at him. Yep. So the Orioles just can't find that big hit. Garcia hauls it in. No runs, a leadoff double, and a base runner left on. 2-1 White Sox. Everybody knows about those beginnings. He could become the second player in history to win a single-season home run crown as a rookie. Mark McGwire, the only one to do it, and no rookie has ever won the Triple Crown. He right now is up there in all 3 categories. Dallas Keuchel Houston leads the majors, 9 wins and a 1.67 ERA. Unfortunately to the DL, continuing neck problems for Dallas Keuchel. And Jake Lamb of Arizona leads the majors, 57 RBIs right now. He had a total of 91 all of last year. He's been driving them in for his surprisingly offensive Diamondbacks team. Alec Asher battling against Derek Holland in a pitcher's duel in this one. Bottom of the 6th inning, Abreu, Garcia, Frazier due up. Abreu's had a base hit, a run scored, and he is grounded out. He'll take it inside for a ball. RBIs, 2 of them. Vaciel Garcia got him in the 4th inning for the White Sox, and the Orioles won in the 1st inning. Machado, base hit.
Or was he waiting for that fastball, just like the last time?
So he's got a couple of hits in the ball game. Help support the patients and families at the University of Maryland Medical Center by attending a special fundraising event for Shannon's Fund. It'll be on Friday, August 18 at Oriole Park. Ticket packages for the event as low as $50. They include a game ticket and exclusive pregame barbecue. For tickets and info, go to Orioles.com/Shannon's Fund. Here is Garcia. Damage done by 2, 3, 4 here in the order so far, and now they're trying to do it again. In the dirt, gets away, runner stays.
Yeah, not a lot of speed, or probably would have advanced. Caleb trying to keep it in front of him, and the ball kind of goes off the glove up in the air. Curveball that's going to bounce right there. He didn't know where it is. Hit the umpire. Otherwise, this ball gets by him. See him trying to cut it, and then it kind of climbs up the umpire, Brian O'Nora's arms. And Richard Dwyer, the only lefty in the Orioles bullpen.
Garcia with a base hit he's had in this one. He's now hit in the last 13 of 14 games against the Orioles, hitting over 340. 13 RBIs. Well, actually a couple in this game, so he's up that to 14 RBIs in that time span. Pitch to him inside, fouled. Asher's really done a heck of a job here in the ball game.
I mean, really a series of 3 batters. And that's how they got the 2 runs.
He did not give up a hit through the first 3. Only 1 on through 3. That was a walk. Swarzak in the pen, and then that 4th inning, first 3 up, 2 singles and the 2 RBI double. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Runner off first. Again, another jam shot fouled away.
Yeah, out over the plate because of his size. You can see him hitting his helmet because he knows he's swinging at balls. But then, you got to give him some credit to Alec Asher. That's a 2-seamer that you start on the inside corner, and he thinks it's going to stay there, but it keeps running right in on his fist. Well, what we haven't seen from Alex is that okay, now throw a slider that starts on the outside corner and breaks off the plate. You're certainly in that count.
And hit him. Well, Asher's done a lot of that. That's the 7th hit batter this year by Alec Asher. And Garcia goes over towards the dugout here for the trainer and the managers. Jim Snyder, the longtime trainer with the White Sox, out there with Renteria.
Closing in on 40 years. Started it with the Rochester Red Wings. Yeah, again, just runs in and gets him in the elbow. That's the good news, but there are a lot of nerves that run down into your wrist. And I don't think he wears a protective device. He'll get that on.
waiting to see if he's going to take a guard off that elbow underneath the jersey or not.
I don't think there is a guard. That's probably why it hurt so much. It's like old school right there.
So another chance. Just the way the fourth inning started. They got the first two on, and then Garcia brought him home. Now here in the sixth inning, a base hit and a hit batter. They get the first two on, and it'll be Frazier coming up. Garcia goes down to first base. Nobody out. Frazier has grounded out, popped out. He's 0 for 6 here in the first two games. The DH came in with a 2 for 2 off Asher, but has not been able to add to that yet.
Yeah, well, he hit a bullet up the middle, but because of the shift, which you can't employ now, you got behind him 2-1, and he just hit a BB, but it was right at the shortstop. And actually, Scope playing up the middle.
Frazier 225 with runners in scoring position, and obviously this is a very big at bat and a very big inning with the Orioles down 2-1. And that will be taken away for a ball. So he'll get ahead on the count 2-0 from Asher. White Sox 1 for 4 in these situations. All coming chances in that fourth inning. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that's their first strike. So Frazier, 2-ball, 1-strike count. Orioles scored in the first, have not scored since, even though they have had chances. They have had base runners on in every inning. Frazier will take it again, and the count goes 3-1. Todd Frazier will look for one here. Runners on at first and second base. Now Davidson waiting on deck. 6th in home runs last year. Frazier had 40. 3-1 pitch to him and not close. So the second walk of the ball game by Asher will load the bases with nobody out. That'll send Roger McDowell up to the mound.
Well, again, only Blyer, the lefty, and he's certainly loose. And of course, Narvaez, the next hitter. Other than that, everybody in this lineup, other than the switch hitters, hit from the right side.
The Orioles in the ball game last night, Jimenez, Castro, and Brad Brock worked. Ball to Jimenez, 3 2/3. Castro and Brock each worked an inning. You do have some available arms in the pen. And a decisive moment perhaps in this game. Davidson coming up. He is grounded out to third base twice. Sacks full, nobody out. Infield will play double play depth. White Sox with the 1-run lead in the ball game.
Well, they're thinking big inning, and you're thinking, how can I minimize this? And that would be a ground ball double play. And again, Davidson, big time power.
Will take it for a strike. So Asher tested here. White Sox have left only 3 on base, and only one of those in scoring position. Runners off every base. 0-1 delivery on the way. Just missed outside.
Yeah, he's been around the zone all night long.
Davidson 1 for 4 with the sacks full this year. 1-1 delivery to him, and a check swing and a foul ball. He tried to pull the bat back.
Yep, a tremendous curveball. Yeah, the book on Matt Davidson, I mean, good fastball hitter. We saw that last night. He homered, leads his team in home runs with 11. So again, if you can get him out, and again, I'm not sure that would have gotten out probably, but they would have gotten a run with Abreu at the top of your picture. And now with this count, you're thinking, if you're Alec Asher, how do I strike him out? You know, that or pop him up. You don't have to throw a strike in this count.
One-two delivery on the way in the dirt. Good stop. Caleb out to block it. Gave him one to chase if he so wished, and he did not.
Yeah, well, Davidson does have 67 strikeouts coming in 159 at bats. That leads the White Sox in strikeouts. But with the bases loaded, nobody out, you got this pitch, and then you're going to have to worry about, I got to throw him a strike.
Asher with a 2-2 delivery and a long foul ball.
Yeah, they try to come in, and he's waiting. I think they get it in on his fist, but just kind of watch where the barrel of the bat goes. He's able to. And again, you can see the strength. And right there, that facial expression tells you he hooked it foul. And you know what you got him set up for, and that's just a slider blowing away. Let's see if you can execute that pitch here. And missed with a fastball. Nice effort. You know, Gary, it's almost like in one of his starts, the second start was up in Boston, and Hanley Ramirez hit a curveball for a home run. Hanley Ramirez hit a slider. And it's like he's kind of backed away from that pitch.
Three-two, bases loaded, and nobody out. Delivery by Asher. He got that one. Say goodbye. Way back in left field, and goodbye home run. A grand slam home run by Matt Davidson, and a 6-1 White Sox lead.
We'll take a look here. Bases loaded. Really good pitch. Davidson said, that's not what I want to swing at. Same pitch, but a little bit lower. There's a nice breaking ball. So he's 1-2. Can't execute the breaking ball. 2-2. Home run, but foul. And here's the home run, but it's not foul. The grand salami.
12 home runs for him. That'll chase him out of the ball game. Asher is gone as the White Sox increase their lead.
Matt Davidson kind of does him in. And our Jiffy Lube pitching change brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube stores now do brake services. Stop in and let Jiffy Lube perform a free brake inspection today. But Richard Blyer, he's done a nice job for the Orioles, not overpowering, but again, matches up pretty well. Actually better numbers against righties than lefties. And what he usually does is throw the ball over the plate.
15th appearance for Blyer. Bases are empty. First career grand slam. As Matt Davidson, home run last night, another one tonight, leads the White Sox with 12 long balls. And the 1-0 delivery is taken away. Narvaez at the plate, and Asher just pacing a pitch. And then at bat, it really mattered. Fouled off. The way they did that, leadoff single by Abreu, then you get Garcia, who ended up being hit by a pitch, then a walk to Frazier. So that's what loaded him up for the home run by Davidson.
Yeah, well, they don't score a whole lot of runs for Alec. They came in at what, three a game, and that number went down. So
inside.
My experience was when you have a 1-0, then a 2-1 ball game, 85 pitches or 90 pitches is a lot more than that because of the stress involved. And that caught up with him.
Foul back, another big cut. Home run swing taken on that one.
Yeah, if you're a starting pitcher, the tragedy tonight is that you end up giving up 6 runs and you actually pitched pretty well. You just got yourself in where you couldn't get a guy out and you needed to make a pitch and couldn't make it.
3-2, and he'll walk the first batter face. So Blyer against the left-hander surrenders the walk. That'll bring up Willie Garcia, who has grounded out and drawn a walk in the ball game. Blyer worked against the Yankees on the 10th. Gave up nothing in a couple of innings work and had 2 strikeouts in that game. Pitch is taken by Garcia. Though the White Sox, told you their offense has been clicking, and tonight they've had the pitching of Holland to go with it, and the inability of the Orioles to take advantage of their scoring chances. That's a chopper to the middle. Rabbit hopper, base hit. Making the turn, stopping as Jones will get it. At second base is Narvaez, and a base hit for Garcia.
Yeah, fast infield, top spin. I think it's almost, J.J. Hardy thought that Scope was going to catch it. And he kind of pulls off it right there. It gets by both of them.
So 6 up and 6 on here in the 6th inning. There's still nobody out. And Hansen, their second baseman, coming up. He's hit into a fielder's choice, and he has popped out. And the White Sox will try and add to their lead. Orioles 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position, and the White Sox have gone a couple for 5. The Orioles, we've talked about, their runner in scoring position number is misleading. They lead the league hitting .305, but they have been down to have the fewest chances with runners in scoring position, and right now the 4th fewest RBIs with runners in scoring position.
And that's because of on base percentage, batting average.
So while the number average may be high, it's a misleading figure. These other teams in the American League East in particular, and the White Sox also,
well, as you
their
mentioned,
average may not be as high, but they get a lot more chances.
Right, exactly, and that's why the Orioles 31 and 31. If you get the people to do all the numbers, and the sabermetric of the world, they're going, the Orioles actually should not even be 31 and 31 because of what you just talked about.
0-2 pitch on the way. Got a chance here. Hardy, there's Scope, the relay over to first, and turn the double play. So they get 2 on the 1 ground ball, runner to third.
Take a look again. I mean, Hansen can run a little bit, scope, throw off a mark, but again, you got a big target, just as you do with Chris Davis, Trey Mancini. And I'm surprised they didn't bunt there, you know, because this game is 6-1. We saw that last night when they had a huge lead. 10-3, ended up 10-7. Young player, make Sanchez the better hitter, stay out of the double play.
One problem, maybe Hansen's attempts to bunt tonight have been terrible. Here at top of the order is Sanchez. He's had a base hit. He's gone 1 for 3. Runner at third now with 2 down. (6-1) lead opened up with a grand slam down the line. Good play, Mancini over to get it. So Blair comes on and closes the door, but not before the grand slam by Matt Davidson, and that has given the White Sox a 6-1 lead. By T-Mobile. Take a look at some games going on. The Rays leading the Blue Jays 8-1 now, 9th inning. Fiery at Tampa Bay, second career appearance, pretty good. Estrada, Toronto, not so good. 6 runs, 12 hits, 3 and a third. Phillies, Red Sox going extra again. Price, 3 runs, 4 hits over 6, one of his better starts since coming back. Moreland 1 for 3, the solo shot, and the Yankees are going to play the Angels tonight. Judge last 7, 4 homers, 8 RBIs, the big average. CC Sabathia, the old CC, showing up the last 5 starts. He's been outstanding.
So Derek Holland, you know what, 2 for 11. He holds the Orioles 2 runners in scoring position. Battled, trailed 1-0 for a while. Then they got him 2-1, and then he leaves. They get him 4 more runs. So a chance to win for the 5th time this year. And Anthony Swarzak saw him last night, 21 pitches. So he's done a nice job. They got him from the Yankees, a minor league free agent, hard thrower, fastball slider pitcher. You can see more balls in the air, 58% of them. And the other ability to keep the ball in the ballpark. Those are glowing numbers there. 2 for 20, first batter. That'll keep that inherited runner number down.
Caleb Joseph will lead it off against him. Joseph, top of the order, Joey Rickard on deck. Caleb has struck out, drawn a walk in the ball game. So Holland hung tough, and the Orioles are having another one of those nights. They got the run early, but you've seen so many games, especially during this losing streak, where the Orioles have scored in an inning and then no more. Or in the case last night where they got way behind and then got runs late, but even 5 runs scored in the 8th and 9th innings, not enough to overcome the deficit, losing it 10-7. 2-0 count on Caleb. Pitch to Joseph, and that will be up high as well.
I'll go back to my point about not bunting with a young player, Hansen, and try to add runs. This game is far from over.
3-0 count.
Just got to take another one here. You're down by 5. Make him throw a strike.
Right-hander with the 3-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be up the middle and a base hit. So Caleb's on with a leadoff single here in the 7th inning. His first hit of the night, and what the Orioles needed. Swarzak surrenders one after falling behind. Jacobonis for the Orioles. Joey Rickard's had an outstanding night. A double, a single, hit into a fielder's choice, scored the only run. Orioles picked it up in the first inning on the RBI by Manny Machado. And the pitch will be in there for a strike. The 0-1 delivery on the way, set up outside, and it was away. 1-1 on Joey. Bullpen is been a big part of the wins that have been picked up by the White Sox this season. 4th in ERA and the 2nd fewest hits per 9 innings of any bullpen in the American League. That's going to go to short. Sanchez, Hansen, 2.
Well, 4 double plays last night, and again you're trying to get back in the game. 2 for the price of 1 right here. Taylor bait. All you got to do is catch it, and then Hansen looks like he can turn the double play. Strong arm.
So 2 down, leadoff man taken off. Adam Jones has had a couple of hits, 2 singles and a sacrifice. So he has gone 3 for 7 in the first 2 games of this series. Swarzak a lot of help from his defense with the ability to pick up the ground ball. Swarzak against the Orioles, previous 2 games against them, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 innings worked. He'll come inside and up to Adam. Orioles trying to avoid their 6th consecutive loss and their 11th in a row on the road. Adam will foul that one back. Jones with 2 down, 1 ball, 1 strike count. Swarzak's delivery to him and a chopper to the middle. Gonna have to be a hurried throw. Hansen off the mark. Tag put on. Good play made by Abreu. So it's 7th inning stretch time on the south side of Chicago. Hyundai's better than ever sales event for the best total savings on select models in Hyundai's history. It's going on right now at your Hyundai dealer. White Sox with the lead 6-1. Well, for Adam Jones, there have been problems with the hip, the ankle hurting him. This didn't help. Watch this play. Abreu has to come off the bag to tag him, and watch Adam. He's already having trouble getting down, and then that left side. And he stayed a long time down like that before he went to center. It hurt. And you can tell just trying to stride out to center field.
Yeah, it's almost impossible when you play every day and when you get injuries to get better without taking time off. You know he doesn't want to do that. So Jimmy Yacobanos will come in, hard throwing righty. Major league debut up in New York. That did not go well. Judge with a home run. Inning, a couple of hits, 4 runs, a couple of walks, a strikeout. Hard thrower.
And the first ball to Melky Cabrera will be grounded to Jonathan Scope for an out. So Yacobanos gets a pitch and an out, bottom of the 7th inning. Enter to win a meet and greet with Adam Jones on Twitter. Look for this photo on @MASSANOrioles to enter, and be sure to check out the 811 Bike and Car courtesy of Miss Utility this Saturday and Sunday at Oriole Park. Follow @MASSANOrioles on Twitter for more info. Miss Utility reminds you to always call 811 before you dig. It's the law. Braves had a big night. Couple of base hits, 2 runs scored, 2 for 3 in the ball game. Yacobanos delivers to him, and it'll be down low for a ball. Blyer worked an inning, gave up a hit, 1 walk. Got the big double play though to end the 6th inning when 8 came to the plate for the White Sox. 1-0 count. Yacobanos with some movement on that one.
Yeah, you can look at film, but again, that breaking ball kind of starts at you. Doesn't end there.
As a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Foul back.
97 on the corner. We'll get that result.
Well, the draft going on, everybody noting all the players where they were drafted for the next 2 or 3 days. Yacobanos 13th round in the 2013 player draft. AAA this season, 16 2/3 scoreless in his first 13 appearances at Norfolk. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be a base hit. Abreu's on, 3rd hit.
Yeah, so the second breaking ball not as good as the first one, and to veteran hitters, guys that are again out of Cuba, Abreu's 30, so he doesn't miss the hanging slider. Yeah, the White Sox, they went in a different direction. Orioles go with a high school pitcher, D.L. Hall, and they went out of Missouri State, Jake Berger, who they compared. Tommy Canley, who can really bring it. And again, part of the great back end of this bullpen. Hard thrower for 97, 98, but they compared Berger as the kind of like a Gary Gaetti guy, who was a power hitter for the Twins.
Garcia stands in. He has been hit by a pitch, a 2 RBI double. Great stop made. Caleb Joseph going out to get it. Abreu on at first base. It's his 7th 3-hit game, and he came in tied for 5th in multiple hit ball games, so he's got that one all to himself. He has 23 multi-hit games. And again, the hits piling up. One-0 count. Popped him up. Mancini over. And that'll be in the seats. White Sox, while they've struggled on the road, 10 under, 500. They have made some hay at home, as we mentioned. They're now 2 above 500, 13 and 11 here on the south side, and looking to win another one here tonight on a very short homestand. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Garcia will take the pitch away at 95. Yacabonis, a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Very short lead at first base for Abreu. Not going to go anywhere. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and got that one in, and it'll stay up. Caught by Rickert on the line drive. Garcia retired. 2 down, runner back to first. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles.
Yeah, Garcia still staring at the left fielder. Hit that slider pretty hard. Rickard made a nice play.
Frazier drew a walk, scored in the 6th inning. 0 for 2 officially, 0 for 6 in the first 2 games of the series. He will take the pitch for a strike from Yacabonis.
Yeah, I think the determination for a young pitcher, I mean, this is only his 2nd game in the big leagues, what his first 13 appearances at Norfolk were scoreless, is that, you know, if you get a scouting report, how does that really play with your ability to be able to execute it? So the 2 balls hit hard in this inning are on sliders, and that may not be his best pitch.
One ball, 1-strike count coming to Frazier. Runner off first. Good pitch on the outside corner. Frazier didn't think so. And it goes to 1-2. Alec Asher, the starter, 6 runs, 6 hits over 5. Didn't give up a hit till the 4th inning. Then the White Sox got 2, and then that grand slam by Matt Davidson came in the 6th inning. That opened this ball game up. 1-2 delivery on the way. A little roll over the top to protect by Frazier to hold it at 1-2.
Yeah, really, there's the good breaking ball. 1 to Abreu, 1 to Garcia. We're up a little bit. This one perfectly thrown. And the emergency hack to try to stay alive.
Yacabonis, quick check over to first on Abreu. 1-2 delivery on the way, and the heater up. Took something off it, actually. Got it up top. 2-2. Again, if you join us, Chris Davis back in Baltimore as they take a look at that right oblique strain. Ground ball right into the glove. He'll hustle it over and make the underhanded flip. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. We go to the 8th inning. The White Sox on top, 6-1.
Orioles trying to break a 5-game losing streak. Early lead. Rickard doubles. Manny Machado a long singles as Cabrera, second time in this series, throws out an Oriole runner. And then the Orioles trailing 2-1. Trumbo, runners at first and third, one out, bounces in a double play. And here's the coup de grace right here. Grand slam by Matt Harrison. Bases loaded, nobody out. 3-2 pitch. Matt Davison hits his grand slam home run, 12th home run of the year. Those are your Geico game highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
Everybody keeping an eye on Adam Jones in the Orioles dugout. Richie Bensel's the trainer, communicating with him as he came back in, and are you all right kind of thing. Buck has asked Richie about it, asked Wayne Kirby. Wayne was out there talking to him after that play was made at first base, but Adam's staying in.
Tommy Kahnle, boy, he can get it up there. You can see low averages. Lefties hit him a little bit better. And again, he throws in the upper 90s, get a curveball, slider, changeup, and it's pretty much fastball, changeup. And that changeup at about 92.
First ball hitting will be taken right center. And a pitch and an out as Garcia comes over to get it. Let's take a look at our Lexus of Towson drive of the game.
Well, 2 hits last night, and just coming back from the bruised left wrist, hits a scorching line drive, and then Cabrera, a great throw, great angle right there to see. And he's out by just a little bit.
Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer for 7 straight years. Come see why at lexusoftowson.com. And the pitch taken for a strike. Mark Trumbo 0 for 3 in the ball game. He's gone 2 for 7 in the first 2 games of the 4-game set. Adams' response about how are you always is, if I'm in there, I'm okay. Slightly true. Down the line in right field. Garcia going over with room in fair territory. A couple of fly ball outs to him. 2 down. Vote today, vote tomorrow, and vote orange for your 17 All-Stars MLB All-Star Game ballot. You can vote at Orioles.com/vote and catch all of the excitement. The 88th MLB All-Star Game, July 11th, live on Fox. Two down, nobody on. Trey Mancini a base hit, 1 for 3. Trey's got a 4-game hit streak now. And a good fastball laid in there.
Yeah, 99 is pretty firm.
Swarzak worked an inning, gave up 1 hit. Pitch will be away for a ball. The Orioles able to hang on to a lead in this ball game for just 3 innings after scoring in the first. That one at 99.
Well, he was traded. They picked him up from Colorado. Yency Almonte, who is now a starting pitcher in Double-A. So they get a flamethrower, and Almonte, who he was traded for, is working his way through the minor leagues.
The 1-2 strike delivery. Trying to get around on that fastball. It'll be foul back again. So Kahnle, the right-hander, trying to have a 1-2-3 inning here. The Orioles, while they are trailing, they have been able to put people on base in this ball game. They've not been retired 1-2-3 in the game. The only innings they didn't leave anybody on the 1st and 7th. 1-2 pitch on the way and got him to go upstairs. So Kahnle comes on and gets it done in a hurry. A 1-2-3 8th inning, bottom of the 8th coming up with the White Sox leading at 6-1. smile about. Not a lot of smiling going on in the Oriole dugout. Orioles facing their 6th loss in a row and their 11th on the road consecutively. If they don't have a miracle 9th inning comeback, first part of which has to be Yacobonis being able to hold down the White Sox here in the bottom of the 8th. Matt Davidson, the big blow, his first career grand slam home run coming in the 6th inning. Yacobonis' pitch is in there for a strike. That would chase the starter, Alec Asher. Blyer the inning, a hit and a walk, and now Yacobonis on for the 2nd inning of relief. 0-1 delivery by the right-hander, grounded to third. Manny Machado dives, the ball, the throw, and he got him in a Manny play.
Yep. Doesn't really get any better than that. Other guys may win Gold Gloves, but boy, he can play third base. Right here, and again, once he gets it, and watch this arm.
It's great to see no effect in the 2 games yesterday, last night, tonight on that left wrist problem. Not at the plate, not in the field. He has been able to do everything that he has had to do. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Narvaez has a walk and is 0 for 2.
Yeah, and he gets, you know, again, the Orioles only have 1 run. He has navigated both Holland and the rest of the bullpen through some pretty tough outs. And they got a lot of huge outs tonight. Orioles, I mean, this is a typical game where with a couple of more productive bats, they at least have 3, 4, 5, 6 runs easily. Just didn't get the big hit. And Chris Beck, 2nd time up tonight.
Yacobonis with the 1-1 delivery. Gets ahead on the count here, 1-2. Lost tonight, and the Orioles would drop below 500. Probably are not going to end up in last place, though, because Toronto's also losing big. And the pitch taken away. 2 ball, 2 strike count. There will be some roster moves tomorrow, undoubtedly, if only because of a decision's got to be made on Chris Davis with that oblique strain. 2 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, foul back. Orioles playing a man short tonight, as no move was made today, so the Bucks bench not very long, and the bullpen continues to have to be used. Asher did get 5 innings plus in tonight, but Orioles are still using 2, 3 or more relievers per game. Here's the 2-2 delivery again, and that's going to be up in a full count. Three-two delivery on the way, and just tipped foul. Yacobonis got it up to 96 miles an hour on the delivery.
Well, I've always heard, first time I really had to see, I mean, I watched the game on Sunday, but I got to see him pitch, and you know, and again, it looks like it's a funky windup, but it looks like his mechanics are good enough. The word always was it had, you know, great arm, good fastball. Command will certainly always an issue here because you got to make good pitches, but how good is the breaking ball?
5th year professional baseball. 3-2 delivery on the way, and walks it. Orioles pitchers have surrendered 4 walks in the ball game tonight. This one comes with 1 away. Bottom of the 8th inning. Willie Garcia, a walk, robbed of a hit earlier by Manny Machado, and has picked up a base hit. Runner off first base, and the breaking ball is in there for a strike. Orioles actually out hitting the White Sox tonight 9-8 so far, but all the runs have gone on the other side of the ledger but one. The 0-1 delivery. Again, a fastball at 96 away from him. One and one, runner not going anywhere. Way out in front of that one, popped it up. Hardy's back, and he's got it. JJ going back into shallow left field to pull it down for the second out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. That'll bring Hanson up, making his debut as a starter. Hit into a double play, popped up, and hit into a fielder's choice. Alan Hansen at second base. Rick Renteria with a number of lineups used on a game-to-game basis. Plays a lot of matchups. 2 down, runner at first base, goes after it, knocked down, and played to the bag. Good play by Mancini. He was holding the bag, otherwise that ball probably is right over it and into the corner. Orioles go to the 9th inning down 6-1. To the mound against Miguel Gonzalez. Game 3 of the 4-game set. Our coverage on MASN 2, 7:30 O's Extra, presented by Jeep. Our game coverage will be at 8. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Yep, young Dylan Bundy, 6-5, and Miguel Gonzalez, who started out really well. In fact, the Orioles beat him, even though he pitched well in Baltimore. And certainly, the Orioles know him because he pitched for the Orioles for a number of years. So, battle of the right-handers. And Chris Beck, second year with the White Sox. He's pitched well, maybe not as well at home. On the road, it's unbelievable. And again, 1.80 ERA at home, 5.40, but hard thrower. As we mentioned, fastball again in the mid-90s, hard slider at 87, changeup 88. Good numbers across the board. Those numbers not quite as good. So the inherited runner numbers are up.
So the Orioles bat with Jonathan Scope. 1 for 3 base hit his first time up. Lone run, first inning. Rickard a double. Machado brought him home, and the Orioles held that lead until the 4th, when Garcia got the 2 RBI double, and then the grand slam in the 6th inning by Matt Davidson. Chris Beck, 1-0 count on Scope. Jonathan will take that one down. Count goes to 2-0. Orioles have left 7 on base, 5 of those in scoring position, and not left anybody on in the last 2 innings, and were retired in order for the first time in the 8th. 2-0 delivery by Beck will be outside. Big overthrow follow through right there, and the count goes to 3-0. So Jonathan will watch here and take 1 or 2. The Orioles need base runners.
Well, it ought to be 2, but
delivery by Beck. It is there. 15,038 the announced tonight. 15,038. Beautiful evening. Be at the ballpark. Very comfortable. Beck ready in the 3-1 delivery. Jonathan. Played by Hanson over to first. 1 away. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. So the discussions go on. Smiles on one side, not on the other. Holland, starting pitcher, 5 2/3, a run on 8 hits. He's going to go 5 6. Alec Asher will take the loss. He's going to be 2 5. Beck's delivery is in there for a strike. Wellington Castillo DHing in this ball game. 0 for 2 and a walk. Robbed of probably an extra base hit by Melky Cabrera in left field his last time up. Went back to the wall and hauled it in.
Yeah, 6th inning after the leadoff double by Mancini. Yeah, it's not only the inability to get runners in with scoring position, which was the case tonight, 2 for 11, but after that double, Jonathan Scope popped up a hanging curveball. Otherwise, that's a sacrifice fly. The game is tied. So a couple of those occasions too, where he just didn't advance the runners and make it harder on Holland, and he took advantage of it.
1-1 delivery on the way will miss. Orioles had first 2 runners on in the 3rd inning. Actually, they started with a walk, then had a fielder's choice 2 on 1 down, couldn't score. And in the 5th inning, they did get the first 2 on, couldn't score. Leadoff double, 6th inning, couldn't score. Leadoff single, 7th inning, couldn't score. 2-1 pitch on the way, and that will be a souvenir back upstairs.
Yeah, 5th inning, what you get 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and don't score. That would have tied the game.
The chances were here, and not converted on.
Well, that's back-to-back nights. I mean, even last night they end up losing 10-7, but they did put 13 hits on the board, and they did score 7 runs. You just got to sync it up together. It's been pretty difficult to do.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way. Orioles 2 for 11 runners in scoring position tonight. 2 for 7 for the White Sox. Castillo works at full, 3 ball, 2 strike count from Beck. J.J. Hardy waiting on deck. John Russell has been next to the skipper tonight, the bench coach, listening. As Buck has wanted to talk down there throughout the ball game after the Orioles fell behind. I'm sure to get some help. And what do you think? And John has been there as a manager with the Pirates, of course, and he's the ear and assistant. Count stays at 3-2 on Wellington Castillo. Full count delivery on the way, and oops.
Well, Wellington was ready to go down to first. Really haven't been too many questionable pitches with Brian O'Nora. There's been a couple. I mean, this ball looked like it got the plate. The ball ran from the middle of the plate to the inside corner, and again, we've seen a lot of late strikes, and there it goes. And called out on a couple of pitches, what, 3-4 inches off the plate. So a tough series.
So 2 down here in the 9th. J.J. Hardy, a base hit, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Beck will get it in there. Count the double play in the 7th inning. 8 in a row have been retired. The bullpen of the White Sox against the O's. 0-1 pitch on the way, and Hardy will take it outside. One delivery by Beck. Hardy on a check swing. It's going to be away. Two and one on J.J. Trying to extend it here in the 9th inning. Foul back. Apparently the Twins want to remain in first place. I just look at the score and I had to check it 3 times. 20-6. The Twins over the Mariners in the 8th inning. Whoa.
Yeah, sometimes you score so many runs you want to kind of save a few.
Twins are 20 runs on 28 hits. A 2-ball, 2-strike count. Pitch on the way, a ground ball towards short. Sanchez, and the ball game is over. So the Orioles are retired in order here in the 9th inning. Holland will be the winner. He is 5-6. Alec Asher takes the loss. He falls to 2-5. Orioles have now lost 6 in a row and 11 in a row on the road, and they are below 500 by 1.